Hey everyone, this is Vlad. I'm talking to you today about different brainstorming techniques and how you can use them in your teams to come up with truly brilliant and amazing ideas based on your how might we questions. Let's go. Some of you might have heard of these techniques before, some might be brand new to you. Unfortunately, I can't cover every single technique in existence here. It's just not possible. So if you know of a different technique, feel free to give it a try with your team if you'd like. I will also very briefly touch upon when and in which situations you might want to use one brainstorming technique over another, and hopefully that will help you find the right brainstorming technique for you. Alright, let's start off with a classic, the silent brainstorm. This one is a great icebreaker for new teams brainstorming together for the first time, as it can be a little bit intimidating sharing your ideas in a new group. Silent brainstorming gives everybody equal opportunity and a safe space to come up with as many ideas as possible, even if some people can come up with ideas faster than others. Everyone's ideas get the same amount of time to gestate before they are shared, while providing a distraction-free environment for the thought process. So, how does it work? Gather your team and make sure everyone is brainstorming on and can see the same how might we question. Set a time frame for your session and make sure everyone can see or hear when time's up. In that time, each team member should come up with as many ideas as possible on their own. You can each use a different color post-it if you'd like, and feel free to mute your team members in case they are less than silent while thinking. Also, don't be afraid to go old school with real post-its and a pen if you want. Just remember to transfer them onto your Miro board later. When time's up, you and your teammates should take turns sharing all of the ideas you came up with, one team member at a time. If you have similar ideas to someone who's already shared their ideas, you can immediately start clustering those ideas together to see if you can build on each other's ideas. Once everyone has shared, you can continue to cluster the ideas together, combine ideas, or even add new ones if any come to mind. Brainstorming technique number 2, the hot potato. One of the best brainstorming techniques for unfiltered, uncensored, and often bizarrely brilliant idea vomiting. This playful technique will have you and your teammates rapidly spewing out ideas like a geyser in no time, all the while helping you tap into that fluency mode. This one's probably one of my favorite techniques when you really want to go for those mythical crazy ideas. If you're there in person with your team, it's as simple as designating one easily throwable object as the potato, and imagining that this potato is super hot, burning your hand and causing you terrible pain every second you keep holding onto it. Your task, therefore, is to shout out the very first idea that comes to your mind, of course related to your how might we question, and then pass the potato onto the other teammates so they can in turn shout out their idea and throw the potato again before it burns them, and so on, until you have generated a bunch of ideas. Ideally, the physical activity and desire to not burn yourself will keep your team passing the potato quickly and rapidly generating ideas. One quick safety note though, please don't use something that's actually hot. It's more about stimulating your imagination rather than your pain receptors. So I bet you're thinking, how are we supposed to do this in the virtual world though? Well, I might have a solution for you, using the wonderful Miro board, of course. So how does this virtual hot potato work? Make sure your team is gathered together on one Miro board looking at your how might we question, and that all of you have the Miro timer open and each of you sets it to 3 seconds. Don't forget to set another timer somewhere so that you have a time frame for the session as a whole. Next, select one team member to start the session. This person will shout out another team member's name out loud while clicking start on the timer. The team member who is called out now has 3 seconds to shout out their idea before being burnt by the buzzer. When they have said their idea, they will then reset the timer, call out another teammate, and hit start on their timer. Again, this goes on until you have a metric ton of ideas. Keep in mind that due to the blistering speed at which all these ideas are being shouted out, you will need one team member or a coach to act as a documenter, writing down all the ideas so they don't get lost. This is true whether you are in the virtual space or not. Try doing 2 shorter rounds of this technique so that your documenter also has a chance to burn their fingers. Technique number 3, perspective storming, aka superhero storming. This one is a bit trickier. It requires some specific tailoring to your unique how might we question in order to work. However, if you find yourself stuck, this one can really help you out. It can also be used on a how might we question that you've already brainstormed on, but didn't really get anywhere with. Here, it's all about perspective. By putting yourselves in the shoes of somebody else, you can get a fresh take on your how might we question. Or if you go super over the top, you might ask yourselves, for example, how might Superman tackle the challenge? And you'll find yourselves busting through an idea blockade as if you yourselves had super strength. So how does this one work? Again, make sure you're all set with your team together and a time frame for this technique in mind. Reframe your how might we question with the following. How might X tackle our how might we question? This mysterious X could be someone famous with a particular style of solving problems. Think Greta Thunberg or Steve Jobs. You can also use a company which is well known for one reason or another. Think IKEA or Amazon. Again, even a radically different perspective, such as a superhero's, can move your idea generation process forward, with some reflection afterwards. What's important here is to know why you're adopting this perspective. And after your idea generation, take some time to figure out specifically how this other perspective can help you move forward or tweak the idea to make it feasible. If you find yourself still stuck, then you can try today's bonus brainstorming technique, the reverse brainstorm. To put it simply, take your how might we question and flip it around. Brainstorm in the opposite direction of whatever you originally wrote. It sounds stupid, but I guarantee the results will surprise you, and you might even have a eureka moment of your own. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for your time, and remember, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Have fun brainstorming.